this is a very quick review to show you my new digital alarm clock with projector, and it has the buttons at the top, as you can see. On this side we've got we've got the middle one to turn the alarm on and off, and then the radio on if you quickly touch it. And then you've got the first alarm, the second alarm, the radio mode and the projection mode. These two buttons also work as the volume for the radio. So if you short press the first button where it says time, it gives you seconds. If you long press, the time will start flashing, and then with the second button you can change the hours, and with the third button you can change the minutes. And then to go back to the time, you simply press the first one again. The fourth button is one of my favorites because if you press, it dims the light. So I actually have had many digital alarm clocks in the past that they were so bright that they wouldn't allow me to go to sleep. Finally, with this one, I can simply, at a touch of a button, set it up to the minimum so it stays very dim and it doesn't keep me awake. It does not work on the projection mode. Projection mode just works the same, but I don't find the projection mode to be too bright, so it doesn't keep, I don't have a problem with that. So I'm going to put the dimming option to the maximum to carry on showing you the rest of the buttons. This one is the first alarm. Now you keep the alarm pressed and then you can set again the time, the hours and the minutes just with the second and third as we've done the time. And then you can actually choose if you want here for the beep beep option, so you wake them with the beeping noise, or if you press again with the radio basically. So when it's blinking you can actually change the hour and the minutes, but you can also change the alarm mode. Okay, the same with the second button, that would be for the second alarm. Once it's blinking you can actually change the time, but I have found that the second alarm shows you here on the side. So you press it, that would be the bleep, and you press it again and that would be with the radio. And when you leave it on, let's say I'm going to leave it on there, I have that the first alarm it's on radio and my second alarm it's on at bleeping mode. So you've got the two different, which is really good because I don't like the ones that you have two buttons on what side. I never know which one's which. This one shows you each alarm on each side. Then you've got the radio button, that would be the third one here on the left. And when you press it, radio comes on. Now let's see if that is the volume. Let's see if I can find one that actually can hear properly. If you long press the plus, that's better. So far it is an alarm clock. I don't think that the radio should be any louder. For me, this is enough to wake me up. Now, you can actually, as mentioned, find the radios by just keeping the plus or the minus, that's the hour or the minutes button, long pressed, as such. And then when you release, it actually starts finding the next one available. You can actually program them too. So if you press the first one, when you've pressed the radio, you press program, it will, bear with me, so I go on the radio. You've got different programs, you've got up to 10 different programs. To program these, all you would do is go onto the plus and minus until it finds one that's the one you want, and then you press program again and that will be saved on that one, and then it goes to the next one. So you can actually program See, you can actually program up to the 10 with 10 different radio stations. And you program them by pressing program, then you find them, and then program again. Now the projection mode is also really good because this one has 180 degree. So depending on where you've placed your radio clock, that comes really helpful. It's also helpful because I'm going to try and project it here on the table. I'm going to turn it on. This gets turned off and off by the end button. So as you can see now, you can see the time there, hopefully. And then if I press it again, it turns the time the other way around, upside down, which it helps me a lot to place, and then it turns off. So you've got it one way, upside down, and then it really helps on placement. Sometimes I've bought projection clocks and the trouble is that you can't actually place it properly. I think last one my girls had, I had to actually place their alarm clock on top of the wardrobe, which was not very convenient to turn the alarm off in order for the projection to be on the ceiling properly. And with this one I could have simply just directed the projection a lot better to wherever I wanted it. So for me that's a real plus. Projection's not too bright, as mentioned earlier. Last thing I need to tell you about this digital alarm projection clock is that you're going to require two AAA batteries, which are not included. What these do is that if the electric temporarily turns off, it's going to save. So it says 6:05, let's say the electric's gone. I've actually unplugged it off, and then the electric comes back. It's going to remember the time, but the alarm's not going to work and the projection's not going to work either. It actually goes completely off. All it is, it's just to help the clock remind the time for a short period of time. Also, you have the USB entry port, which I find very, very, very useful. It's a 5 volt 1 amp output, and all you would do is plug your normal USB charging cable, which is not included, and charge your device. So if you have your new, like me, my new digital projection alarm clock, I can charge my phone to at the same time, and I'm not really bothered it's working at 5 watts because I'm not going to be awake to remove it. So I actually prefer it with a low output rather than a high one. So what can I say? It's very easy to use, very easy functions. It has 2 alarms, FM radio. Volume is quite acceptable for what it is. This is not a speaker, this is not a radio, it's just a digital alarm clock. And the fact that I can direct and the projection is a real plus. Also, I forgot to mention, when you're actually projecting, there's this lens on the front of the projection that if you turn the lens around, you can adjust the sharpness of the projection too, which is also a great plus. And out of all my projection alarm clocks, this one's the only one that it has these. So what can I say? I'm really happy with it, and I would really recommend. So thank you very much for watching. Thanks for your time.